The latest high-grade release comes from the latest Gundam movie, Gundam SEED Freedom. This is the mighty Strike Freedom Gundam. SEED is incredibly popular in the East, with the movie getting huge box office numbers. It's been about 20 years since Mobile Suit Gundam SEED Destiny. The Strike Freedom Gundam and the Freedom Gundam before it are both very iconic and massively popular designs. It's nice to see Kira get an upgrade for a very beloved and iconic design and series. Let's talk about the runners. 11 runners printed in 11 different colors, totaling 213 parts, makes up this mighty looking 1/144 scale high grade. This is a rather easy high grade to build, despite its more complex looking design. The biggest issue I had with this kit during assembly was the chest vents, as the tolerance to fit these pieces into the chest is very, and I mean very tight. Some extra care should be taken while assembling this piece to ensure you don't break anything. The lower sliding gimmick on the wings is also a little funky to assemble. However, once you understand it needs to be slid on at a diagonal angle, they'll go on easily enough. These were really the only two hiccups I had during assembly. Now that assembly's out of the way, let's talk about the articulation, and there's a lot to go over with this kit. The head. The head can rotate 360 degrees. The Mighty Strike Freedom can also look upwards quite a bit, but can look down even further. The rear neck armor that's attached to the head prevents the head from looking further upwards. The head can tilt left or right to a 45-degree angle. The Mighty Strike Freedom Gundam design lends itself to allowing these poses without too much armor getting in the way and preventing the movement. The torso can lean back pretty far. This articulation, in conjunction with the head, can get a pretty decent flying forward pose with the body at a horizontal angle. This is very nice given how the mobile suit moves on screen. It will help you replicate some poses from the movie. The ab crunch is also fantastic. Strike Freedom can look at its feet if it really wanted to. The left and right lean is also better than most kits. There is some really good and unexpected articulation here on the torso. The legs can come out to a 45-degree angle. This is because of the railguns. Moving the railgun skirt back or forward will get it close to a 90-degree angle, but not quite at the level to pull off a split. However, this is partially remedied by the lowering leg gimmick in the waist. The legs can lower from the waist and give you a 45-degree angle to help you pose the legs in the upper thigh area. This allows you to get the Gundam to sit crisscross applesauce. I'm not sure why it would need to sit crisscross applesauce, but it's able to do it, and it's cool that it can even pull off this pose. It's really giving the RG God Gundam a run for its money. The Gundam can kick pretty high with the hip gimmick, but without the hip motion, only a 90-degree kick is achievable because the skirt stops it. Once again, thanks to the hip gimmick, 90 degrees is also possible kicking backwards. Without that hip gimmick, the kick backwards would have been very restrictive because there's absolutely no articulation on the rear skirt. Even if the rear skirt was on a swivel, that would have helped quite a bit. The knee is double jointed, so at the upper thigh you're able to get a 90-degree angle. However, at the knee to the calf, you can really only get a 45-degree angle because the Mighty Strike Freedom has some mighty calves. This isn't a deal breaker, as the Gundam can still pull off almost any pose you can think of, and that's thanks to that lower hip gimmick. The thruster on the back of the calf can move, but only very slightly. The foot armor can swivel left and right and up and down, in conjunction with how the foot is being posed. The foot can also pull off a 45-degree bend in either left or right directions. The forward lean articulation is absolutely outstanding, and to be honest, a little ridiculous. I'm unsure what type of pose needs this much forward lean, but it's capable if you're able to think of one. The rear lean articulation is acceptable. Combined with the large amount of toe bend articulation, you could actually pull off a straight leg pose, which is perfect for flying poses. Usually with a design such as this, the backpack will be getting in the way, limiting a lot of the arm articulation. However, we are lucky as the wings can move 90 degrees backwards, allowing for full arm articulation. The arms are on a ball joint and can rotate a full 360 degrees. The shoulder armor can also go a full 90 degree upwards. This allows the arm to go into a perfect T-pose. There is a rotation at the bicep for full 360 degree motion. On my kit, however, the right arm was incredibly tight. I had to clearance the bicep armor to allow full motion without breaking the elbow joint. The arm has a double jointed elbow able to pull off a 70 degree angle. The wrist is also on a ball joint which connects to the wrist armor and shield emitters, so there is a slight inward articulation with the wrists. The kit comes with 2 sets of hands, open hands for both sides and closed fist hands for both sides. These connect into a ball joint on the wrist. However, the hands on my kit are very loose and they like to pop out. I will have to add something to tighten these up. The arms are able to swing out from the torso quite a bit. This allows the kit to reach almost completely across the chest. The arm articulation isn't bad, but it does have some very tight tolerances on the kit that I received. Luckily, this is easily fixed with some modeling know-how. The loose hands is a little bit of a problem as it makes posing a little frustrating. Posing with the combined beam rifle is a little annoying because the hands are super loose, so this extra weight, it doesn't like to hold it and it will pop out. The backpack here has some great articulation, all things considered. Like previously stated, the wings are on a swivel joint, so they can move backwards at any angle, and they can move slightly forwards on an angle. The wings are also on a swivel, so you can rotate them inward or outward. The wings can also move upward and outward to fully represent the full power of the mighty Strike Freedom. The gold pieces also have strike articulation to assist with the pose, but only at the upper area. The wings open wide and reveal the pink accents that are on the wings themselves. All around, I'm relatively impressed with the articulation on the wings. Compared to the original Freedom Gundam, this is much easier to pose and have fun with. It's tight and it feels good to pose, and the hardest part about posing the wings is the opening and sliding gimmick to reveal the pink. The wings are very close together, so it makes moving these binders a little difficult if you have larger fingers. So some tweezers might be helpful to open the wings up a bit. Next, it's the accessories. The mighty Strike Freedom comes with a decent arsenal. Kira brings his iconic dual beam rifles into battle, as well as the typical beam sabers. There is also a piece for the combined beam saber. There is one beam shield which is molded in a blue color and has some holographic texturing within the shield, which is very nice. It looks much better than the real grade Strike Freedom Gundam with the sticker on the beam shield. The kit also comes with a secondary open V-fin for the Convergent Heavy Nucleon Beam Cannon Disruptor. Say that 10 times fast. It also includes the physical Futso Namatama sword, a decent spread of typical weapons for this mobile suit, and a little extra. With all this articulation, the kit is able to pull off and hold some very dynamic poses. That's a huge plus. However, what I did notice in my posing tests is this kit does not like to stand up by itself. This is unfortunately a SEED curse, as the backpacks most kits have are very heavy and make it very easy for the Gundam to lay down on its back. The kit will absolutely have to be posed leaning forward just a little bit to get it to stand. That's not a goofy amount of lean, but definitely noticeable. The kit does well on a stand. I really would have appreciated it if the kit came with one of those cheap pack-in stands just because of how back-heavy the kit is. Sadly, color correction is a little rough on this kit. The biggest offender are the beam rifles, with the red stripe and the blue accents being a sticker. The Proud Defender also has a sticker on the tail end of it. Finally, the last color correcting sticker is the open V-fin for the Disruptor Cannon. In my reviews, I plan on using the stickers so you can see how this kit looks completely out of the box. The sticker for the Disruptor was a little too ridiculous to use. This will hide way too much detail, so I painted mine. In all honesty, you could get away without using the sticker on the Proud Defender. It looks fine in all white. After this review, the stickers will be stripped and the parts properly painted. Not a terrible sticker hell like the Gujian Rebake Full City is. I said this in the unboxing video, but if we get a better out-of-the-box gold color for the wings, I'm okay with these being stickers. These parts are easy enough to mask and spray that it won't be too difficult. We just touched on color correcting stickers, but let's touch on other stickers involved with this kit. There are 16 large pink stickers that are designed to go onto the wings. All 4 wings have channels for these stickers to reside in. The stickers are a thicker type plastic, similar to what we saw with the Schwarzette from the Witch from Mercury line. Applying these stickers is relatively easy, and I didn't have a bad time installing them. Let's go over panel lining. On this kit, I used the Tamiya Pour type, and I cleaned it up quickly with some lighter fluid. I made sure there was no pooling to prevent cracking. If you're uncomfortable doing that because you're afraid of the kit cracking, you can always use a panel liner pen. Either method won't take very long, and panel lining the kit is relatively quick. The panels themselves have deep recesses, which makes running a pen or the Tamiya liner in the crevice very easy. Panel lining the wings brings out a lot of detail, as well as the vents on the legs. It's a fantastic looking kit once all the panel lining has been applied, and really makes all the details pop. One thing that's not so easy is seam lines, and the seam lines on this kit are a little disappointing. I know it's a high grade, but we have had high grades before in the past with the head molded as a sort of helmet, one-piece design that slides over the rest of the head, so the eyes and the chin piece. I understand this is design contingent, but the seam line on the head is relatively bad in my opinion. No high grades from the Witch from Mercury line had this clamshell type mold for the head. So going from those kits in 2023 to this in 2024 feels a little bit like a step backward. Again, it is design contingent, so I understand. I just wish another solution would have been used for the head on this. The other really noticeable poor seam line is on the leg. You could hide this as a panel line, however, I didn't, as I felt it would have made the legs a little too busy, based on the relatively simplistic design of the other body parts and the line art. This is an inexpensive high grade, so it makes sense. Just understand you have to add some extra TLC to clean these up if you want a perfect, seamless, Mighty Strike Freedom Gundam. The nub marks on this kit aren't bad. The worst offenders are on the feet. With that darker blue, if you don't sand the nub down, you'll more than likely leave a mark. I use the 2-cut method with Tamiya Straight Blade and God Hand Ultimate Nippers. I really only have noticeable nub marks on the feet and a little bit on the black venting on the back of the railguns. All around, not too bad. It will definitely be well hidden if you sand these couple areas. My final thoughts. This kit is a lot of fun to build and even more fun to pose. The extra gimmicks, good articulation, and large demanding design really gives a good representation of Kira's latest upgrade to his Strike Freedom Gundam. The Gundam is packed with weaponry and great features. If you're a fan of SEED or the Strike Freedom design, I think you'll thoroughly enjoy this kit like I did. The only things holding this Gundam back are some tighter tolerances in some areas, some loose hands, a decent amount of color correction on the beam rifles, a bad seam line on the head, and finally, its ability to stand is tepid at best, so posing without a stand can be a little frustrating. But don't let those cons fool you. For the price, this is definitely a great kit for the value, especially with the kit being a high grade. This is a good few steps above the high-grade Strike Freedom Gundam, and probably the best representation of a Kira Yamato suit in the high-grade form. I'm definitely going to have a blast reposing this guy and pulling off some real badass poses with it. I cannot wait for the custom waterslide decals to come out for this kit, as that's going to elevate my enjoyment for the design. Because this channel is garage themed, we're going with a garage themed rating system. I'm going to give this kit a rating of a decent daily. It's a good kit and a lot of fun to build. The design resonates with me quite a bit and I enjoy posing it. This is a perfect evolution of the Freedom design philosophy. The small amount of paint and seam correction is the only thing that really holds this kit back, and they're both small enough issues that are easy to fix and also easy to ignore. They don't stand out like a sore thumb. Go ahead and pick this up when it hits stores in your area. I highly recommend it. As always, I appreciate your support, the likes, the subscriptions, and the comments. You guys are making this channel grow like crazy, and I cannot thank you enough for supporting me. As always, I hope to see you in the next video. Be safe, have fun, and happy building.